Let me ask you something important. How do you spend your mornings? How do you spend your hours, your minutes? Because that, my friend, is how you spend your life. You see, success doesn't show up all at once. It doesn't arrive like a surprise party. It sneaks in quietly in the form of daily habits. While most people are waiting for motivation, the ultra-successful are stacking routines. They're not waiting for the perfect day. They're creating it every single morning. Success is not an event. It's a rhythm, a routine, a small set of disciplines practiced every day. Now here's the secret. You don't have to change your life overnight, but you must change something you do daily. And that's what this video is about. We're not here to talk about theory. We're here to talk about what they do, the habits, the patterns, the daily choices, the ones that separate average from amazing, ordinary from extraordinary. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, if you're done watching other people win while you wonder how they do it, then stay with me, because I'm about to walk you through the daily disciplines of the ultra-successful. Not hype, not fluff, just what works, day in, day out. These are the habits that build wealth, wisdom, and winning lives. The only question now is, are you ready to apply them? Let's begin. They wake up with intention. The morning is the CEO of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple truth. Your morning is the seed of your day, and the harvest, well, it depends on what you plant. See how you start, how you begin. It matters, because the way you begin often determines how you end. And the ultra-successful, they understand this. They don't stumble into their mornings. They design them. They don't hit snooze. They hit stride. Now I want you to think about something. What do most people do when the alarm goes off? They curse it. They groan. They hit that snooze button like it owes them money. But the successful, they rise. Not just from bed, but into intention. Why? Because the morning, friends, the morning is the CEO of the day. And if the CEO shows up late, if the CEO shows up confused, what happens to the rest of the company? Right? It falls apart. Same goes for your day. Let me give you a principle I've lived by. Don't start the day until you've finished it on paper. That means planning. That means preparation. That means sitting down the night before, looking ahead, and saying, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what matters. And here's what I refuse to waste time on. That's what the ultra-successful do. They don't wonder what the day will bring. They tell it what to bring. They don't ask for a good day. They create one. Now someone says to me, Jim, I'm just not a morning person. That's okay. You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. with fireworks and fanfare. But you do have to wake up with purpose. Because purpose is stronger than the pillow. It gets you up when excuses want to keep you down. The successful know every single day is a vote. A vote for discipline, or a vote for delay. And the first vote, it's cast in the morning. Let me share something with you. Successful people have something I call a power hour. That first hour, oh, it's sacred. They read, they write, they reflect, they plan. No rush, no panic, no chaos, just intention. They don't start the day with headlines. They start with goals. They don't scroll, they steer. Because if you don't steer the day will steer you. And trust me, it usually steers you off a cliff. Here's a small shift that makes a big difference. Gratitude. I know sounds simple, and it is. But let me tell you, the ultra-successful don't start their day with complaints. They start with thanks. Because when you start with appreciation, you see opportunity where others see obligation. That's a mindset. And mindset is the foundation of every morning. Now, if you're listening to this, you might be thinking, Jim, I've been winging my mornings for years. That's okay. Today's a good day to take the wheel, because habits don't ask for permission. They just deliver results, good or bad. So you want better results? Start with a better morning. Let me give you 3 simple steps. You can start tomorrow. Number 1, decide tonight what tomorrow must look like. Don't wait until the morning fog to figure out the mission. Number 2, protect the first 15 minutes. No phone, no inbox, no noise, just you, your mind, your purpose. Number 3, feed your mind. Read a page, listen to an idea, write a thought. That's it. You do those things, you're no longer reacting to life. You're leading it. So I say to you, be the CEO of your day. Stand at the head of the boardroom. Your mind, your body, your schedule, and give the day its marching orders. Because if you don't, someone else will. You've got dreams to chase, a future to build, and that starts the moment you wake up. So wake up with fire, wake up with focus, wake up with intention. And I promise, success will follow your lead. Thank you. They feed their mind, Daily learning is non-negotiable. Let me tell you something that changed my life. Years ago, you can't grow a business until you grow yourself. You can't lead others until you learn to lead your own mind. See, success doesn't just come from hustle. It comes from wisdom. And wisdom, well, it's earned through daily learning. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you gave your mind a meal? I'm serious. You wouldn't go a whole day without feeding your body, right? But some folks, they go weeks, months without feeding their mind. No new ideas, no new thinking. Just the same old thoughts, recycled over and over like last week's leftovers. But the ultra-successful, they don't do that. They know this simple rule. You can't outperform your thinking. You can't build a level 10 life with level 2 thoughts. So what do? They feed their mind every single day. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, every day. Because they know learning isn't an event, it's a discipline. Now someone says to me, Jim, I've already been to school. Well, listen, so have I. But let me give you something worth writing down. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. See, the classroom may give you a certificate, but what you do after the diploma, that's what builds your destiny. So ask yourself, what are you learning right now? What book is on your nightstand? What podcast is in your ear during the drive? Because if the answer is nothing, you've just found the reason the needle isn't moving. The ultra-successful, they read, they listen, they seek ideas, and here's the big one. They learn from people who are ahead of them. They don't let ego get in the way. They ask questions, they hire mentors, they pay for courses, they sit at the feet of those who've walked the path, and take notes. Because smart people know something. Average people forget. Learning shortens the distance to success. It collapses time. It saves you from trial and error. It reveals shortcuts you couldn't see on your own. Now let me make something clear. Learning isn't just about information. It's about transformation. Because what good is a library full of knowledge if your life still looks the same? The ultra-successful don't just collect ideas. They apply them. They turn knowledge into action. They turn insight into income. They don't just hear the truth. They live it. And that, my friends, is the difference. Let me give you a challenge. And if you accept it, it could change the next 12 months of your life. Every day, consume one idea. Just one. Read a page. Listen to a mentor. Watch a 5-minute video. Journal a thought. Small, consistent input. Big, exponential output. Because here's the truth. The mind is a garden. And if you don't plant something good, weeds will grow on their own. So you've got to be intentional. You've got to curate what goes in, because what goes in comes out. And the quality of your decisions, your business, your relationships, it all reflects the quality of your thinking. Let me wrap it up with this. The world is changing fast, and if you're not learning, you're falling behind. But the ultra-successful, they stay sharp, they stay hungry, they stay teachable. They understand you are the most important project you'll ever work on. And you work on it, one idea at a time, one page, one lesson, one insight, every single day. So make learning non-negotiable, make growth a habit, and watch how success starts to chase you. They guard their attitude. Mindset is the master key. Let me tell you something that's made all the difference in my life. It's not the events that shape your future, it's your response. It's your mindset. It's the attitude you bring every single day. See, life throws curveballs at all of us. Nobody gets a clean ride. Nobody gets sunshine without a little storm. But the ultra-successful, they've learned a powerful secret. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. And that response, that's called attitude. And attitude, my friend, is the master key. Now let me ask you, how do you approach your day? Do you step in with confidence, with clarity, with energy, or do you walk in already defeated? Because make no mistake, your attitude is broadcasting. It's telling the world how to treat you. It's telling your goals how serious you are. And it's either opening doors or closing them. You see, the ultra-successful, they guard their attitude like a treasure. Why? Because they know it shapes everything. Attitude shapes the way you handle a problem. It shapes the way you show up in a meeting. It shapes the way you deal with pressure, setbacks, people, and even yourself. And here's the best part. Attitude is free. You don't need talent for it. You don't need a degree. You don't need permission. You just need to decide that you are in charge. Now let me give you a picture. Imagine two people with the same challenge, same stress, same setback, same Monday morning. One says, "Oh no, here we go again." The other says, "This is a chance to grow. Let's go." Same external world, different internal world. and that's what changes the outcome. You can give two people the same tools, the same information, even the same opportunity. But it's the attitude that determines who wins. Now someone says, Jim, what if I just wake up in a bad mood? Well, join the club. We all do. But the difference is this. The ultra-successful don't stay in a bad mood. They don't let emotions run the show. They don't let one bad moment define the whole day. They pause. They breathe. They reset. Why? Because they've learned that a bad attitude is expensive. It costs you energy. It costs you focus. It costs you relationships. And it always costs you opportunity. So what do? They build attitude rituals into their day. They start the morning with gratitude, not grumbling. They speak words of belief, not doubt. They surround themselves with voices that lift, not drain. Because mindset, just like your muscles, needs daily conditioning. If you don't build it up, the world will wear it down. Let me tell you, the greatest asset you have is your mind. It's not your car, not your phone, not even your resume. It's your mindset. Because here's what I believe with all my heart. A strong mindset will carry you through weak moments, and a poor mindset, well, it can sabotage even the best opportunity. The ultra-successful know this, so they work on their mind more than they work on their money, because the money follows the mindset. So let me challenge you. Before you check your bank balance, check your belief. Before you complain about what's wrong, choose to see what's right. Before you step into the world, step into a winning attitude. You do that, watch how the world starts to shift. Watch how the doors open. Watch how people respond to your energy, because you attract what you broadcast. Let me leave you with this. Your attitude is your atmosphere, and your atmosphere determines what grows. So fill it with belief. Fill it with gratitude. Fill it with discipline. Guard it. Sharpen it. Use it, because success doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to mindset. And that's why the ultra-successful guard theirs, like gold. They prioritize health. Energy is the first currency. Let me tell you something. Most people don't hear enough. Success starts with energy, not just ambition, not just vision, but energy. Because without energy, the best plan sits on the shelf. The greatest ideas never leave the notebook. The sharpest mind gets buried under exhaustion. So here's the truth. Plain and simple. Your health is the engine, and without it, you're not driving anywhere, fast or far. Now I want you to picture this. You've got the car, you've got the map, you've even got the dream destination. But you forgot one thing, fuel. What happens? You stall, you sputter, you stop. And that's exactly what happens to a lot of talented people. They've got ambition, but no stamina. They've got vision, but no vitality. They've got goals, but no gasoline. And let me tell you, that's not a success problem. That's a health problem. The ultra-successful, they know this. So what do? They prioritize their energy. They treat their body like a performance machine, because that's exactly what it is. You wouldn't pour cheap fuel into a Ferrari, would you? So why do we pour junk into our bodies and expect first-class performance? Now listen, I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you have to run marathons. But what I am saying is this. You've got to take care of the only vehicle that can take you to your dreams. That means eating for fuel, not just for flavor. It means moving your body, not just scrolling your phone. It means sleeping like your life depends on it. Because it does. Here's what I learned early on. Discipline with your health multiplies discipline everywhere else. You start eating clean. You start thinking clearer. You start exercising. You start making better decisions. You start sleeping better. You start showing up stronger. Health is not just about looking good. It's about functioning at your highest level. Because when your energy is low, everything feels heavy. But when your energy is high, everything feels possible. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how hard it is to stay motivated when you're tired, hungry, sluggish? That's no accident. Because success requires energy, not just enthusiasm, but real physical, mental, emotional energy. And energy comes from discipline. Discipline in what you eat, what you do, what you value. Now let me tell you how the ultra-successful think. They treat health like it's money. They invest in it. They protect it. They budget it. They say no to things that drain them. People, habits, patterns. And they say yes to what fuels them. Nutrition, movement, recovery. They don't find time to work out. They make time because they know if you don't make time for your health, you'll be forced to make time for illness. And that's a trade no successful person is willing to make. Now you might be thinking, Jim, I've got so much going on. How do I make time for health? Well, let me tell you what I tell busy CEOs, entrepreneurs and leaders around the world. You don't make time for health because you're free. You make time for health so that you can stay free. Free to pursue your goals. Free to serve others. Free to show up without dragging a tired body behind you. So start simple. Start small. But start now. A morning walk. A cleaner meal. A solid night of sleep. These may sound basic, but I promise you, success is built on the basics. Let me leave you with this. Your energy is your edge. Guard it. Build it. Prioritize it. Because you can have all the strategy in the world, but without energy, you won't execute. And execution is what separates the wishers from the winners. So treat your body like your most important business, because it is. And when your body is strong, your life becomes unstoppable. They plan before they act. Strategy before sweat. Now let me tell you something that'll save you years. Activity doesn't equal achievement. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're sweating doesn't mean you're succeeding. You see, friends, the ultra-successful have figured something out. It's not just about motion, it's about direction. Not just hustle, but strategy. Because hustle without aim, that's just chaos in motion. So what do the ultra-successful do? They plan, they think, they decide before they act. They put strategy before sweat. And that's what separates them from the frantic, from the overwhelmed, from the unfulfilled. Let me put it another way. Don't start your day swinging if you don't know where the target is. I've seen people work 10 hours a day and go nowhere. Not because they weren't trying, but because they were trying without thinking. Effort without clarity is expensive. It costs time. It costs energy. It costs momentum. And the successful, they don't like waste. They don't start until they know why they're starting. They don't move until they know where they're going. Now I'll tell you one of the greatest lessons I ever learned. Don't start your week until you've finished it on paper. And the same goes for your day. Don't start your day until it's been thought through, laid out, planned. Because if you don't give your time a job, someone else will. Your phone will pull you. Your inbox will chase you. Distractions will dominate you. And before you know it, the day's over, and you're no closer to the life you want. The ultra-successful, they win the day before it starts. They don't just wake up and react. They wake up and execute. They say, here are my top priorities. Here's what I will do, and what I won't. Here's what moves the needle today. They know the difference between important and urgent. They know the difference between busy work and brilliant work. And they've learned that it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters more. Let me give you a visual. Imagine building a house. You don't just show up with a hammer and hope it works out. No, you follow a blueprint. You measure twice, cut once. Why? Because planning saves mistakes. Planning saves money. Planning saves your sanity. The same is true for your day. The successful treat each morning like a construction site. They show up with the blueprint in hand. Now let me challenge you. Before you open your laptop, open your planner. Before you scroll your phone, scroll through your goals. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 things I must complete today to move my life forward? Not 10, not 20, 3. 3 priorities that if done make the day a success. That's how the successful do it. That's how they build with precision. Here's the thing. Most people don't lose because they're lazy. They lose because they're scattered. They spend the day responding instead of creating. They spend their energy chasing fires instead of lighting their own. But not the ultra-successful. They've built a habit of planning. And that habit, it turns hours into results. It turns days into destiny. So how do you begin? Start every day with 10 minutes of planning. That's it. What are your top outcomes? What obstacles might show up? What's your first move? That short moment of strategy sets the course for the rest of the day. Because without a plan, you're not in charge. You're just reacting. But with a plan, you walk into your day with authority. Let me wrap it up like this. Hard work matters, but directional work. That's what builds empires. So don't just get to work. Get to work on the right thing. Don't just move. Move with aim. Don't just sweat. Sweat with strategy. Because when your effort meets your plan, that's when the magic happens. And that, my friend, is how the ultra-successful move mountains, one well-planned day at a time. They do the hard thing first, discipline before comfort. Let me tell you one of the biggest secrets of the ultra-successful. They don't wait until they feel like it. They don't negotiate with procrastination. They don't ask their mood for permission. You know what they do? They do the hard thing first. They get it done when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when it's downright unpleasant. Because they understand something that most people miss. Discipline must come before comfort. Otherwise, comfort will kill the dream. Now, I don't know about you, but I've learned this the hard way. See, the easy road gets crowded. It's full of good intentions, half-finished plans, and someday people. But the hard road, that's where the champions walk. That's where the dreamers become doers. Because nothing worthwhile is built on what's easy. Let me ask you something. What's the one thing you keep putting off? You know what it is. That call, that workout, that spreadsheet, that uncomfortable conversation. It's sitting on your desk. It's living in your mind rent-free. And every day you delay it, it grows heavier. That's the trick of procrastination. It takes a 5-pound task and turns it into a 50-pound weight. But here's what the ultra-successful know. When you do the hard thing first, the rest of the day gets easier. But when you avoid the hard thing, the day owns you. Now someone says to me, "But Jim, I don't feel motivated." Let me tell you, motivation is a myth if it's not backed by discipline. You don't need to feel ready. You need to get moving. Because motion creates motivation. Discipline is what gets you going. Motivation is what shows up after you've started. Let me give you a picture. You wake up and you've got two choices. Do the hard thing, delay the hard thing, and whichever one you choose, that becomes your identity. Every decision is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. You do the hard thing, you reinforce strength. You build resilience. You earn confidence. You delay it, you reinforce avoidance. You build doubt. You let fear cast the vote. The ultra-successful don't let fear vote. They say, "I'm in charge." They take the meeting. They make the call. They write the draft. They hit the gym. Not because they love it, but because they love what comes after. They don't chase feelings. They follow principles. And one of their key principles is this. Do it now. Especially when you don't want to. You want more time. Do the hard thing first. You want more freedom. Do the hard thing first. You want more confidence, clarity, control over your day. You guessed it. Do the hard thing first. Because that one action in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. You take command early, and the rest of the day listens to you. But if you wait, if you delay, the day takes command of you. Now let me give you a simple strategy. Every morning, write down your most difficult task, not your longest task, not your most annoying task, the one that matters most, the one that moves your life forward, the one that grows your character, the one you'd rather push to tomorrow. Then do it, before breakfast, before distractions, before your brain starts looking for the exit. Do it while your willpower is still fresh. Because here's the truth. Discipline compounds. Every hard thing you do today makes the next hard thing easier tomorrow. Let me leave you with this. Comfort is easy, but comfort is also a trap. It whispers, "Take it easy. Later is fine. You've earned a break." And if you listen to it too often, you'll wake up years from now wondering where your ambition went. But discipline says, do it now. Get it done. Grow through it. And that voice, that discipline, that's the one that changes lives. So do the hard thing first. Beat the delay. Defeat the doubt. Earn your momentum. Because when discipline comes before comfort, success always follows. They master their time. Minutes make millions. Let me tell you one of the most important truths you'll ever hear about success. Time is more valuable than money. You can lose money and make it back. You can break a business and build it again. But time, once it's spent, it's gone. And the ultra-successful, they know it. That's why they guard their time like gold. Because they understand a wasted hour today is a delayed dream tomorrow. Now I want you to write this down. Don't count the hours. Make the hours count. See, most people are time spenders, but the successful, they're time investors. They don't ask how long will it take. They ask, is this the highest use of my time right now? Because let me tell you, not all hours are created equal. 1 hour of distraction equals sign nothing. 1 hour of deep focus equals sign progress. 1 hour of gossip equals sign regret. 1 hour of strategy equals sign results. And results, my friend, they don't come from more time. They come from better use of time. Now someone says, Jim, I just don't have enough time. Well, let me correct you kindly. You have the same 24 hours as the billionaire. Same 1,440 minutes as the author, the athlete, the entrepreneur. What's the difference? It's not the amount of time. It's the amount of ownership. The successful don't let time happen to them. They happen to time. They schedule it. They defend it. They design it. Because if you don't design your day, your distractions will. Let me give you a tip from my own playbook. Run your day, or the day will run you. The moment you wake up, your time has options. Social media wants a piece. Your inbox wants a piece. The world wants a piece. And if you don't assign your time a job, you'll end up working for everybody else's priorities. So how do the ultra-successful manage their minutes? They calendar everything, not just meetings, thinking time, workout time, learning time, family time. They treat every block of the day like it matters, because it does. To them, a blank space on the calendar isn't freedom. It's vulnerability, because idle time gets filled with low-value habits, and low-value habits create low-quality lives. Let me give you something practical. Each night, before your head hits the pillow, ask, what are my top 3 outcomes for tomorrow? What time will I do them? What distractions do I need to remove to protect those hours? It takes 10 minutes to plan, but that 10 minutes can save you 10 hours of wandering. You see, clarity saves time, and clarity is a result of deliberate planning. Now let's talk value. If I handed you $1,000, would you throw it in the street? Of course not, but people throw away an hour every day like it's nothing. And I'll tell you, an hour is more expensive than $1,000 when you know what it's worth. 1 hour of creativity could launch your next business. 1 hour of learning could change your mindset. 1 hour with your child could shape their self-esteem for a lifetime. Minutes matter, because minutes make millions. Let me leave you with this. Time is not just something you use, it's something you become. Use your time with excellence, and you become excellent. Use your time in distraction, and you become scattered. So stop saying I don't have time. Start saying I'm not giving my time to that. That's ownership. That's clarity. That's success. So today, take back your time. Track it. Protect it. Invest it. Because when you master your minutes, you multiply your life. They communicate with clarity. Words move the world. Let me tell you something that most people underestimate. Words build empires. Words build marriages. Words build businesses, teams, legacies, and yes, even nations. But here's the secret. The ultra-successful understand. It's not just about talking, it's about communicating with clarity. Because a confused message gets ignored. But a clear one, it moves the world. You see, most people speak to be heard, but the ultra-successful, they speak to be understood. They don't just talk, they don't ramble, they don't fill the air with noise. They choose words like tools, sharp, intentional, precise. They craft their language to shape outcomes, because they know the right words at the right time can unlock doors that effort alone cannot. Now let me ask you, have you ever met someone who talks a lot but says nothing? Sure you have. They talk in circles, they drown in jargon, they throw around $10 words trying to sound smart, but end up sounding uncertain. Let me give you a principle that served me for years. Don't try to impress with words. Communicate with truth. The successful keep it simple. They get to the point. They speak in a way that moves people, not just fills time. Let me share what I've learned. Clear communication reflects clear thinking. If your message is messy, it means your mind is messy. So the first step isn't to talk louder. The first step is to think better. Before you open your mouth, ask, what am I really trying to say? What outcome do I want from this? How can I say this in one sentence? Because friends, clarity wins every time. Now someone says, Jim, I'm just not good at speaking. Well, the good news is this. You don't have to be charismatic. You have to be clear. You don't have to have a booming voice or perfect grammar. You just have to mean what you say. And say it in a way that lands, that builds trust. That creates movement. That makes the other person say, I get it. Let's go. The ultra-successful are masters of this. In emails, in meetings, on stages, in one-on-one conversations. They've trained themselves to speak with purpose, listen with intent, and write with precision. Why? Because they know that the quality of your communication determines the quality of your influence. And influence, friends, that's the currency of leadership. Let me give you something practical. Practice powerful phrases. Every high achiever has a set of go-to sentences they use, like tools. Here's what I need from you today. Let me tell you why this matters. Here's the next step. What are your thoughts? Let's keep it simple, short, sharp, clear, because great communication doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. Now listen, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, your tone, your posture, your timing, your confidence. The ultra-successful own the moment. They don't rush, they don't mumble, they don't dance around the truth. They speak with strength and grace. And that combination, it moves people. Let me give you the bigger picture. If you want a better business, upgrade your communication. If you want a stronger team, upgrade your communication. If you want deeper relationships, more influence, more trust, you guessed it, upgrade your communication. Because when you learn to say it better, you start to live better. Let me leave you with this. Words create worlds, so choose yours carefully. Speak with purpose. Speak with clarity. Speak like what you say matters, because it does. One word can change a day. One sentence can change a mind. And one conversation can change your life. So communicate like a leader, because words move the world. They reflect and recalibrate. Evenings are for alignment. Now let me share a truth. The average person never considers the day is not over until you've learned from it. You don't just end the day, you review it, you study it, you correct it. Because success, my friends, is not just in what you do, it's in what you learn from what you do. That's what the ultra-successful understand. They don't just work hard all day, they reflect at night, they recalibrate, they align, they close the day with wisdom, not just exhaustion. Now let me ask you, when your head hits the pillow, do you ask yourself how the day went? Do you pause and look back before you rush ahead? Because here's the truth. Reflection is the bridge between experience and wisdom. Without reflection, every day is just a blur. But with reflection, every day becomes a brick in your legacy. The ultra-successful end their day with intention. Not Netflix, not noise, not mindless scrolling. They take 10 minutes, sometimes 5, and they ask what worked today, what didn't, where did I win, where did I wander, what did I learn? Because if you don't ask the questions, you won't get the growth. Let me give you a little formula I've taught for years. E plus R equals sign. That's event plus reflection equals sign. Outcome. The event alone doesn't change your life, but what you learn from it. That's where the power is. Every result is a teacher. Success teaches. Failure teaches. Conversations teach. Mistakes? Oh, those are full of lessons, if you're paying attention. And the ultra-successful, they pay attention. You want to know the fastest way to get ahead? Shorten the gap between action and adjustment. Most people take years to course correct. The successful do it daily. They don't wait until something breaks. They make small fixes in the moment, little shifts that keep them on track. It's like flying a plane, 1 degree off, and you land in the wrong city. But catch it early, and you land in the wrong city. But catch it early, and you land exactly where you planned. That's what evening reflection does. It keeps you on course. Now let me tell you something that might sting a little. Some people are not stuck because of a bad plan. They're stuck because they never pause to review the plan. They're just repeating the same day over and over, hoping something changes. But the ultra-successful, they upgrade the system every night. That's right. They ask, how did I lead today? Did I live according to my values? What did I tolerate that I shouldn't have? What deserves more of my time tomorrow? They fine-tune the engine, so the machine runs smoother the next day. Now I'm not saying you need a journal full of essays. You just need awareness. You need presence. You need a habit. And I'll tell you this, 5 minutes of honest reflection beats 5 hours of blind hustle. Because reflection brings clarity. And clarity sharpens everything. Let me give you a habit you can start tonight. Right before bed, grab a notepad or your phone, and write down 3 things. 1, a win from the day. 2, a lesson learned. 3, one improvement for tomorrow. That's it. That's your recalibration. That's how you close the gap between who you were today and who you're becoming tomorrow. Let me leave you with this. Don't just chase alignment. Practice it. Don't just hope to grow. Plan to. Because reflection is not soft. Reflection is a discipline. It's how the wise stay humble. It's how the great stay grounded. It's how the successful stay on mission. So tonight, don't just collapse into bed. Sit with the day. Learn from it. Adjust it. Because evenings aren't for escaping the day. They're for elevating it. They stay grateful. Abundance starts in the heart. Let me share something with you that's not just powerful. It's transformational. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a discipline. It's a habit. And for the ultra-successful, it's a way of life. See, gratitude isn't something they practice once in a while. It's not something they remember just on Thanksgiving. No, gratitude is the lens through which they see everything. Because here's the truth. Abundance doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your heart. You know what I've discovered? You can have everything and still feel empty. Or you can have little and feel full. It all depends on what you focus on. And the ultra-successful, they don't just focus on what's missing. They focus on what's present. They don't take their blessings for granted. They count them. They name them. They write them down. And that one habit, that daily reflection of what's good, that's what keeps them grounded and growing. Let me tell you something. Success without gratitude will rot your soul. You'll build the business, you'll make the money, you'll get the recognition. But without gratitude, you'll always feel like something's missing. That's why some of the wealthiest people in the world are also some of the emptiest. Because they fed their bank account, but they starved their spirit. The ultra-successful, they do it differently. They nourish the spirit first. They wake up with thanks on their lips. They go to bed with appreciation in their hearts. They say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the lesson, even the hard one. Thank you for the strength I didn't know I had. Because here's what they've learned. The more you appreciate, the more there is to appreciate. That's the law. Gratitude multiplies what you value. Now someone says, Jim, how do I stay grateful when life is hard? Let me tell you, gratitude isn't about ignoring pain. It's about finding power, even in the middle of it. It's saying, yes, this is tough, but I'm still breathing. I'm still learning. I'm still here. Gratitude doesn't erase the challenge, but it reframes it. It gives you the strength to rise above it. And here's the other truth. Gratitude attracts. It attracts people. It attracts opportunity. It attracts peace. People want to be around someone who sees the good, who lifts the room, who doesn't complain about every inconvenience. The ultra-successful don't gossip about what's wrong. They speak life into what's right. They don't bring problems without perspective. They bring solutions with gratitude. Because that mindset, that energy, it's magnetic. So let me give you a practical tool. Start a habit called the Gratitude 3. Every day, morning or night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Big things, small things, ordinary things, unexpected things. And don't just write them, feel them. Let it sink in. Do this every day. And I promise you, your life will shift. Because what you focus on grows. Let me leave you with this. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea. It's a strategy. It softens the heart, sharpens the mind, elevates the spirit. So don't just chase what's next. Appreciate what's now. Because the person who is grateful for little will be trusted with much. And the one who honors what they have will always have more than enough. Abundance doesn't start with more. It starts with meaning. And meaning begins with gratitude. They protect their environment. Proximity is power. Let me tell you something you don't hear often enough. You don't just become what you think, you become what you're around. That's right, environment matters. And the ultra-successful, they know this better than anyone. They don't just work on their habits, they shape their surroundings. Because here's the truth. Your environment is either pulling you forward or quietly dragging you down. Now let me ask you, who's in your circle? Who's in your ear? Who's speaking into your life? Who do you spend your mornings with? Your lunch break? Your evenings? Because every conversation is a deposit or a withdrawal. Every relationship is either fuel or a leak. And the successful, they do inventory constantly. Not because they're arrogant, but because they're aware. They understand that proximity is power. And when you're around growth, you grow. When you're around doubt, you shrink. Let me give you something I've taught for years. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're around complainers, guess what? You'll start to complain. If you're around dreamers, builders, leaders, you'll start to stretch, to rise, to reach. Environment doesn't just influence you, it sculpts you. The ultra-successful are ruthless about this. They audit their circle, they protect their peace, they guard their gates, what they see, hear, and allow. They know you can't build $1 million mindset in a toxic atmosphere. You can't grow with constant drama. You can't lead while surrounded by chaos. You can't stay disciplined in a cluttered, noisy, negative space. Now someone says, Jim, what if it's my family that's negative? What if it's my coworkers? Here's what I say. You may not be able to choose every person in your life, but you can choose your proximity. You can limit access. You can set boundaries. You can increase the voices that lift you and lower the volume on those that don't. You can build a mental environment that supports your vision, even when the physical one isn't perfect yet. Let me give you a few practical ways the ultra-successful do this. 1, they curate their inputs, books, podcasts, videos, conversations. They choose what goes in, because what goes in comes out. You want to think better? Consume better. 2, they design their physical space for focus, their office, their desk, their morning routine space. It's not random, it's optimized. Clarity in your space creates clarity in your mind. 3, they protect their time like a fortress. They don't give away hours to people who drain them. They don't attend every meeting, every call, every complaint session. They say no, not to be rude, but to protect what's important. Because time is life, and energy is fuel, and both are non-refundable. Listen, friend, you can't build a powerful life in a weak environment, so build one that reinforces your identity. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking, celebrate your progress, and push you to keep going. Because here's the law. Environment is stronger than willpower, so don't fight your environment, fix it. If you want more focus, create it. If you want more energy, protect it. If you want to rise higher, change who you're around, because proximity is power. Let me leave you with this. If you want to elevate your life, start by elevating your environment. Clean the clutter, control the noise, choose your circle wisely, because you don't just build your future, you protect the space where it's built. And that space is sacred. So guard it, because what surrounds you shapes you. They track their progress. Numbers never lie. Let me tell you something that separates the interested from the committed. The ultra-successful don't just work hard. They track how well it's working. They don't just show up, they measure how they show up. Because here's what they've learned. What you don't track, you can't improve. You see, progress without measurement is just guesswork. And guesswork doesn't build wealth. Guesswork doesn't build freedom. Guesswork doesn't build anything that lasts. Now let me give it to you straight. Numbers don't lie. Feelings do. Some days you feel productive, but got nothing done. Other days you feel like you're failing, yet you crushed your targets. So if you want clarity, don't just check your emotions, check your data. Because the ultra-successful don't ask, how do I feel about this week? They ask, what did the results say about this week? Big difference. Let me ask you, do you know how many hours you spent on your goal last week? Do you know how much you earned? How much you saved? How many leads you contacted? How many workouts you completed? Because if the answer is, I think, we've got a problem. Because I think is vague. And vague goals lead to vague results. But the ultra-successful, they know exactly where they stand, because they keep score. Let me tell you why that matters. Keeping score builds awareness, and awareness creates adjustment, and adjustment brings acceleration. You can't fix what you don't face. You can't optimize what you don't observe. You can't grow what you don't track. Let me give you an example. Let's say your goal is to write a book. You can talk about it all year. You can daydream, visualize, create the cover in your head. But if you don't track how many words you're writing each day, it's not going to happen. Progress without numbers, that's fantasy. But progress with numbers, that's execution. Now here's what the ultra-successful do. They build systems of accountability. They use planners, trackers, journals, dashboards. They create rituals around review. They ask themselves hard questions every week. Did I hit my targets? Why or why not? Where did I drift? What do I need to adjust? They don't just look forward, they look backward to course correct. Because success isn't a straight line. It's a series of tiny adjustments. And here's another key. Tracking creates momentum. Because when you see progress, even the small kind, you feel empowered to keep going. You get to say, look how far I've come. I've lost 4 pounds. I've made 12 sales. I've saved $500. And that proof builds belief, and belief builds discipline. Now you might be wondering, Jim, do I really need to track everything? No, but you do need to track what matters. If it's tied to your goals, if it's tied to your values, if it's tied to your vision, track it. Even if it's just on a sticky note, even if it's just once a week, but track it. Because what gets measured, gets managed, and what gets managed, gets better. Let me leave you with this. Progress is not a mystery, it's math. So treat your life like a business. Know your numbers, track your inputs, review your results. Because life doesn't pay you for effort, it pays you for results. So be honest, be clear, be consistent. Because in the end, the scoreboard doesn't lie, and neither does success. They give daily, success flows where value grows. Let me tell you one of the most misunderstood truths in the world of success. You don't get rich by chasing money. You get rich by adding value. You don't build influence by demanding attention. You build it by serving others so well that the world can't ignore you. And the ultra-successful, they understand something most people miss. You don't wait until you're successful to give. You become successful because you give. Now I'm not just talking about charity, though that's important. I'm talking about something bigger. I'm talking about a daily lifestyle of contribution. Because every day is a chance to give something of value. Give your energy. Give your excellence. Give your time, your ideas, your attention, your presence. You see, success is not just what you get. Success is what you become through what you give. Let me ask you something. When people encounter you, do they walk away richer? I don't mean financially. I mean emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Do they walk away inspired, encouraged, better, or just entertained? Because the ultra-successful don't leave people neutral. They leave people lifted. Here's a principle I live by. Don't just be impressive. Be valuable. Anyone can flash talent, but value, that's earned through what you consistently give. You want better opportunities? Become more valuable. You want more income? Add more impact. You want stronger relationships? Give more presence, more patience, more character. Because success flows where value grows. The ultra-successful have made giving a daily rhythm. They don't just give when it's easy. They give when it's right. They mentor others. They offer help before they're asked. They sow seeds in silence, trusting the harvest will come in due time. And here's the magic. The harvest always comes. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but when you plant value, value returns with interest. Now let me be clear. Giving isn't about being used. It's about being useful. You don't give to be taken advantage of. You give to build advantage for others and for yourself. Because every time you give with integrity, you build equity, equity in your brand, equity in your relationships, equity in your future. That's why the most successful people I know, they never stop giving. Even when they don't have to. Even when they could coast. Because they understand a full life comes from a full heart. And a full heart is filled by giving. So let me challenge you. Every single day, give something that costs you. Give a compliment that requires humility. Give encouragement that demands attention. Give your best work when no one is watching. Give a little more than what's expected. Because that extra mile, that's where greatness lives. You want to stand out in the marketplace, don't just deliver, over-deliver. You want to build a legacy, don't just accumulate, contribute. You want to walk into rooms that most never reach. Don't focus on what you can extract. Focus on what you can deposit. Because that's how you multiply your value. And value, friends, always makes room for you. Let me leave you with this. Life responds to givers, not takers, not hoarders, not those who wait to be served, but those who wake up and say, how can I make someone's day better today? How can I serve the mission, not just my mood? How can I show up and bring something of worth? Because when you give daily, you'll never be without. You'll build something deeper than wealth. You'll build significance. And that, my friend, is the true reward of success. They stay humble and hungry, never too big to grow. Let me tell you what keeps the great ones growing. Long after they've made their first million, long after the applause fades, long after the world calls them successful. You want to know what it is? They stay humble, and they stay hungry. Now that's a rare combination, but it's the winning one. Because pride will tell you you've arrived. Hunger will remind you there's more to become. And humility will keep you teachable when everyone else is just trying to be impressive. See, the ultra-successful don't confuse recognition with completion. They don't say, I've made it. They say there's still room to grow, room to serve, room to stretch, room to elevate, because they know the moment you think you're too big to learn, that's the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start declining. Let me give you something to write down. Ego is the enemy of excellence. You can be confident, yes, but the second you become arrogant, you block your next level. The ultra-successful know how to carry confidence in one hand and curiosity in the other. They're never above asking questions. They still read. They still study. They still take notes, even from people behind them. Why? Because they're not obsessed with being right. They're obsessed with getting better. Now someone says, Jim, when can I relax? When can I just coast? You want the truth? When you're done growing. When you're done contributing. When you're done becoming the best version of you. But until then, stay hungry. Stay humble. Stay in the game. Because the moment you coast, you start to slide. And success doesn't come to the comfortable. It comes to the committed. Let me give you an image. Picture a tree, a tall one, majestic, fruitful. You know what's interesting? Even when it's full grown, it still reaches higher, still digs deeper, still opens up to the light. That's what growth looks like. And the ultra-successful, they've become like that tree, rooted, but rising, strong, but seeking, successful, but still learning. Here's what I've learned after years of being around high performers. The best of the best never forget where they came from. They're not too big to say thank you, not too important to shake a hand, not too wealthy to give generously, not too famous to listen quietly, because they know pride builds walls, humility builds bridges, and the longer you're in the game, the more important those bridges become. So what do you do with this? Let me give you a simple practice. At the end of every success, ask yourself, What did I learn? Who helped me get here? Where can I get better? Celebrate, yes, but don't stop climbing. Don't stop growing. Because the goal isn't just to rise, it's to keep rising, and to rise right. You've got to carry two anchors. Gratitude and growth. One keeps you grounded. The other keeps you reaching. Let me leave you with this. You're never too successful to learn. Never too smart to listen. Never too accomplished to evolve. The ultra-successful, they never outgrow humility, and they never lose their hunger. So no matter how far you've come, don't stop stretching. Don't stop serving. Don't stop seeking. Because the journey's not over. And the next level? It's reserved for those who are still willing to grow. Stay humble. Stay hungry. Stay becoming. Build a day. Build a destiny. Well, we've covered a lot together. We've talked about mindset. We've talked about mornings. We've talked about giving, planning, tracking, growing. But now, here at the end, let me tell you something simple and powerful. Success is not built in years. It's built in days. That's right. You don't need a new life. You need a new day. Because every great future starts with one great day, and then another, and then another. You see, the ultra-successful, they don't live for someday. They live for today, with intention, with focus, with discipline. They've learned that tomorrow's destiny is quietly hiding inside today's decisions. So they master the day. They win the morning. They control the hours. They direct their attention. They own their time. And those tiny wins, those small daily victories, they stack, they compound, they transform. Now maybe you've heard people say success is about the big things, but I'm here to tell you, success is about the small things, done daily, small disciplines, small moments of courage, small steps that feel insignificant at first, but over time, they shape the man, they sculpt the woman, they define the legacy. Let me ask you, how are you building your days? Are you intentional or reactive? Are you present or distracted? Are you planting seeds or just passing time? Because listen, everyone is building something. The question is, are you building what you really want? The future doesn't arrive fully built. You build it a day at a time. So here's the challenge. Don't wait for the right moment. Create it. Don't wait to feel ready. Start anyway. Don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be consistent. Because the good news is this, you don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to leap tall buildings. You just need to show up, on purpose, every day. And if you do, you'll build a rhythm. That rhythm will build a routine. That routine will build your life. You see, life isn't about what you hope will happen. It's about what you do today. So make the calls, write the words, plan the day, eat the clean meal, give the compliment, speak the truth, show up early, push a little harder, reflect a little deeper, rest with purpose, start again tomorrow. Because each one of those things, they may feel small today, but over time, they build a life of purpose, a life of meaning, a life of impact. So as we close this journey, let me say it one last time. Build a day, and you'll build a destiny. Not all at once, but step by step, brick by brick, choice by choice. Because the extraordinary life, it's hidden in the ordinary day, done with extraordinary discipline. So start today, own your day, lead your day, live your day, and watch your destiny unfold. One great day at a time.